Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host, Rachel Zaleski, and today we are going to talk about high school playoffs and college football and the NFL. So joining me now is Jason, our sports expert. Jason, go ahead. Fill us in on what you know. What do you know about playoffs?
All right, well, we'll dig right in. We'll start with a soccer update. We'll start in Division 3. We've got some local teams that are still playing in Division 3 on to sectionals now. And these matches will take place on Thursday at, looks like 3 and 3:30 respectively. Amory against Rice Lake, and Rhinelander against Amherst, Iola, Scandinavia, Rochelle. That's one team.
Ooh, say that 10 times.
Nope. And then moving on to Division 4, in the top half of that, that is McDonald Central Catholic Regis. There's a couple different schools in there. They'll play against Barron, and McDonald's had quite a run. They won their first match 9-0. They won their second match 7-0, so they are steamrolling their way towards state right now. And then Arcadia, chugga. Arcadia takes on Columbus Catholic. That'll be at Greasy Park Thursday at 4 p.m. So we're looking forward to watching the Dons as they take their soccer hopes up against Arcadia that day.
Soar.
Yeah, the Dons will be doing it then. So moving on to volleyball, we'll start in Division 1, update there. Marshfield won their first match against Chippewa Falls. Rachel, you were there and saw some of that action. And then they went on to River Falls, where they did fall to River Falls 25-17, 25-9, 25-9. Take heart, though, Tigers. River Falls is a darn good volleyball team. They are 39-0 on the year, 6-0 in conference play. And they're doing it. They are ranked statewide and nationally, so definitely a good team out there at River Falls. Eau Claire Memorial fell to DC Everest. DC Everest beat them 25-20, 25-22, 26-24. In that third game, it went an extra point there. They'll take on Eau Claire North. Those games are on Thursday, the 26th. Volleyball continues on in Division 2. Mosinee beat Black River Falls, so Mosinee is on to the sectionals, and they will take on the Blue Jays of Merrill. Merrill beat Medford 25-12, 25-19, 25-18. Friend of the show, Lisa Wojcik. Rachel, you know Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
And before we get on to Lisa's accolades, first I want to congratulate her yet again. I think I've told her this a number of times during her relationship with a good friend of mine, Scott. Lisa, thank you for doing the Lord's work and taking Scott under your wing all this time. He wouldn't be anything without you. He'd be much less for sure.
We love you.
My boy, though, Scott. All right. Lisa, friend of the show, played volleyball and basketball up in Merrill for a number of years back in high school. She was an all-state volleyball player, all-state basketball player. So she'll be watching her Merrill Blue Jays take on Mosinee. That game is scheduled for Thursday at 7 p.m. That's Division 2. Division 3 here locally. Stratford will take on Athens Thursday at 7 p.m. Number 1 seeded Stratford Tigers against the Athens Blue Jays. Stratford has blown by their competition so far in this bracket. Athens upset Pacelli on Saturday night to earn that match against Stratford. And then finally in Division 4, Newman Catholic, number 1 seeded Newman Catholic, will take on Columbus Catholic Dons on Thursday at 7 p.m. That game is down at Assumption High School in Wisconsin Rapids. Both teams, I think when these brackets came out anyway, Rachel, I looked at it and thought, boy, that looks like a Newman-Columbus type matchup, and we have it. So let's go ahead and play some highlights of volleyball and soccer action from this past week.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show Highlight House. We start our evening at Greasy Park in Marshfield for a rematch of last year's playoff game featuring Columbus Catholic and Nakusa. Both teams are warmed up, and as we check in with our game referee, the coin toss goes in favor of the Columbus Dons, and the warmed-up Dons turn hot. And they strike first at the 5-minute mark with a Calvin Brown tally. Dons up 1-0. Nakusa strikes back with back-to-back goals from Brett McKeel, and Nakusa is up 2-1 at the 14th minute. But not for long, as Nadim Torbe on the attack, and with the launch, we are knotted up at 2, 27 minutes in. Torbe is not done yet. He hits the crossbar. And with help from Dylan Porter, the ball crosses the goal line, and Dons are up 3-2 at the half. As we start second half action, we see Brett McKeel finish up his hat trick with help from Kendrick Kolar. Columbus Dons now in their half, and a beautiful pass from Evan Daringer. Zach Olson puts the Dons back ahead 4-3 at minute number 74. Dons add goals from Nadine Torbay and Kevin Wynn. They advance to play Aquinas at 1 p.m. start Saturday at Greasy Park. And here's Dons coach, Jeff Edwards.
Yeah, I was really proud of the team for the fight in the second half. They really responded well. The goals started to come then after a little bit of pressure got on, but they had a lot of fight and they weren't giving up, not one bit. I thought when we tie it, we'd pull ahead. It didn't happen. That was a good team, way better than.
We take a look at the 9-seeded Thorpe Cardinals visiting the number 1 seed Stratford Tigers at Stratford High School. Start action here with Brooke Peterson with the set, and Maisie Nagel sends it over with no return address. Stratford on the board. Next point is Blair Lindner taking a swing. Maisie Nagel at it again with the liftoff, and Stratford is out to a 4-0 start. Madison Dahl serving for the Tigers, and she comes up aces. Stratford goes on to win the first game 25-17, and they finish up Thorpe 25-14 and 25-11. Stratford advances to take on the Abbotsford Falcons, their last home game of the year. Top-seeded Columbus Dons taking on Pittsville. Kate Turchie with the ace. Maren Seafluth says she's seen enough of Game 2. Dons take it 25-14. Dons now up 2-0 in the match. The winner of this match looking to take on the number 3 seed Marathon Red Raiders. Marathon handled Prentice 25-9, 25-21, and 25-18. The start now of game number 3 at Columbus Catholic Gym. Katie Hall, ace. Maren Seafluth, so hard to handle now. Kate Turchie at the net with the strike, and she is contacted under the net. Don's point. Wrapping things up now in game 3, Jessica Jacopin puts it over and puts the Dons into the next round. Game time is 7 p.m. on. All right, moving on to WIAA football playoff action. We'll start in Division 2, where we saw Marshfield make the trip down to Holman. Vikings did win 34-0 against Marshfield, so we'll look forward to Marshfield Tiger football in 2018. Holman goes on to play Menominee, and all these games will be Friday at 7 p.m. at locations around the state. We're going to save Division 5. Division 6, Auburndale went up to Crandon and came home with the win, 35-7. They take on the Marathon Red Raiders, who beat Niagara Goodman Pembine 50-7. So they're going to have a contest over in Marathon on Friday. And Edgar extends their shutout tally for the year. I believe now they're up to 9 shutouts. Their goal was 11, so they've got 2 more to go. They shut out Athens 35-0. Pittsville beat Assumption 34-27. So it's Loyal and Pittsville, and that game is up in Loyal again Friday, 7 p.m. Now, for everything that we watch here in football, we are keeping a special eye, Rachel, on Division 5 football. I call that the meat grinder. It is just a wild ride that these teams are going to have. Boy, so here we go. We'll start down at the bottom here. Amherst beat Colby 53-6. They go on to take Spencer Columbus, who beat O'Connell 49-17. So 2 high-powered offenses going up there. Hunter Lupke and the gang will take on Amherst at Amherst. Stanley Boyd beat Wittenberg Burnhamwood 42-0, and they will take on Stratford, who took care of the Bondwell Bears 42-19. That game is at Forward Financial Field, one of the nicest football places in the state of Wisconsin, if not the nicest place, Rachel, to watch a game.
Can't wait.
They take on the Tigers-Orioles up there in Stanley Boyd. So let's check out some football action from last Friday. Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show Highlight House. We start our night up in Crandon as the Apaches travel north to take on Crandon. We see Isaacson drop back to pass here, heaves to the end zone. He finds pay dirt. Auburndale now up over Crandon in the second quarter. Later on in the second quarter again, Isaacson drops back to pass. Colton Yeski, he's gone. Auburndale's now starting to cruise through this game. Auburndale again marching down the field. They've got 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Isaacson back to pass, and there's that guy again. Colton Yeske, another touchdown. Auburndale really putting it on here. Auburndale goes on to win 37-7, and they'll take on Marathon at Marathon next Friday.
And it's, oh my goodness, thrown.
All right, just a few miles up the road here in Spencer, the Spencer Columbus Rockets and Hunter Lupke finding the end zone early. Spencer will find the end zone early and often this game as they take on O'Connell. We see Hunter Lupke now again on the end around, back to the middle, back cuts across the other side of the field, and Hunter Lupke is going to cut across to the end zone for another Spencer Columbus Rocket touchdown. Spencer goes on to win this one 49-17. Spencer Columbus will next play Amherst. Amherst beat Colby earlier tonight 53-6. So we've got a battle royale coming up there at Amherst. That game is Friday the 28th, 7 p.m. We'll see you there. And it is game time up in Bondwell as the Stratford Tigers take on the Bondwell Bears. 13-13 here early in the second quarter. Stratford on the move down the field here. We see end around to Teddy Redmond. And spoiler alert, you will hear a lot of Teddy Redmond in this highlight. Teddy takes the ball down to the 3-yard line. Couple Stratford penalties later, pushed him back. Now we see Mark Hendrick drop back to pass, slings it back into the end zone, and Bright for a touchdown as we take a look at our goal line cam. And we see Bright haul this one in for a Stratford Tiger touchdown. Now action moving here into the third quarter. Teddy Redmond stopped. Teddy Redmond, okay, no gain. Teddy Redmond! Teddy Redmond's going to take it to the house. 68-yard touchdown. Teddy Redmond was stopped for a 10-yard loss, turns it into a 68-yard Stratford Tiger touchdown. Teddy's not done yet, though. Teddy finds the ball, finds the end zone.
No, I didn't. I actually thought I was short when I caught it, but I saw the opening. I just tried to catch the ball.
All year, Teddy, special teams, you certainly give a spark to your team. Talk about other players on the team that maybe give a spark that gets you motivated when you're out here.
My number one is Aiden. I mean, he's like the team leader. We lost him for a couple games, but when he came back, it just boosted everybody's confidence. He's there leading us and telling us what to do, and we're just trying to listen to him as best as we can.
They're hard. They had one big run. I don't know how many yards it was on the one big run, but after that, it was pretty hard running for him.
Yeah, 90 yards on that big one. So you broke one loose, and you maintained them after that, especially in the second half. So defense certainly got things handled. In the second quarter, as things, again, we're kind of rolling, Hendrick hits Bright in the back of the end zone. Bright comes back for that ball, and that's what you teach these guys to do.
Yeah, Vaughn's a special player. He's glad to have him back. He's healthy again. Mark continues to get better every week. His knee got twisted up, but he'll be fine. A great catch by their guy on the other end, too. So there's good athletes everywhere, and hopefully our guys continue to get better and on to level 2.
You are watching the Zaleski Sports Show Highlight House.
I'm in the house.
This Saturday, October 28th, the Zaleski Sports Show will be back in Stevens Point to see the Pointers take on the Warhawks. Jason, where can people find out our WIAA schedule? Yeah, well, they should go to ZaleskiSportsShow.com. You can see all of the WIAA schedule there. You can see highlights that we just showed and any other highlights that we have to offer, Rachel. And so we look forward to Pointers Warhawks on Saturday. Wonderful. Now we're moving on to the Zaleski Sports Show, the Sports 101 question of the week. And this week, we're going to talk about NFL celebrations. So if you guys have seen it recently, there's some Duck, Duck, Grey Duck, there's some Hide and Go Seek, and there's some tag being celebrated in the end zones in NFL. Jason, tell us a little more about that. Well, we're going to turn to the Director of NFL Officiating, Albert Riveron, and he's going to talk about celebrations in the NFL.
The last two plays involved legal celebrations. And we talked about celebrations this year, and we know that if it's not prolonged, if it doesn't simulate any action with weapons, and if it's not an inappropriate act, then they are legal. So we know players can go to the ground, they can celebrate in groups, and here we have multiple players on the ground. They do not delay the snap for the kick or the extra point, so it's a legal celebration. Legal celebration. We'll take a look at one more legal celebration here, and this is Philadelphia. They score, and immediately after the score, you have a group of players get together and put on a choreographed celebration, which we know is legal. So what do we have here? We have a batter. We have a catcher. We even have an umpire, and we have a fan. Legal celebration. Legal celebration.
Duck, duck, goose.
Great it.
We are not in Minnesota. Duck, duck, goose.
Great.
All right, NFL update for you. We've got our standings here, and things are certainly leveling out as we just finished up Week 7 in the NFL. In the East, AFC, Patriots lead the way. North is Steelers. South, the Titans. In the West are the Kansas City Chiefs, backed up by Lamar Hunt and the gang there in Kansas City. Down in the NFC East, the Eagles are in first place for now. In the North, it's the Vikings. The South, the Saints. And the West, the Rams. I don't expect a whole lot of movement there, Rachel, for the next couple weeks. I think those standings are where we're going to see things, at least for a little while. AFC South is probably the division to watch. Teams are kind of closely bunched together there between the Jaguars, Titans, and Texans. Colts are out of it, so if you're a Colts fan, sorry, see ya. The rest of those teams are going to battle to the end, and that'll be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, very exciting week in sports. We love that football. So talking about football, Jason, fantasy football, my team, Shake and Bake, just totally beat the pants, like blew the roof off of Tiger Snooze team, which is Jason. So go ahead, tell us a little bit more about fantasy this week.
Guess my guys were down the Xanax too much. Boy, bad. Yeah, it was a bad operation there. So we'll go through the standings. We'll start in the East. Team Megahertz 4-3. First Your Last 3-4. Big Ballers and Tiger Snooze 2-5, and the Marshfield Avengers are 1-6. So we've got some sorting out to do there. I took a look at some things there, Rachel. Team Megahertz leads the league in points, 864. He's had a lot of points scored against him, and that's one of the things about fantasy football. You need to be lucky, and that's what you were this past Sunday. In the West, Made Me Drew, Shake and Bake, A Team Has No Name, Team Fun with Wine, all 5-2, and Joe Buck Sucks is right behind at 3-4. So there's going to be some fighting and some scrapping going on in the West.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a few teams that'll come at you. We're just hoping in the East that maybe one of the other teams can challenge Team Megahertz. We'll see what can be done there.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host, Rachel, and this is Jason. Make sure that you guys watch us on Facebook at Zaleski Sports Show. Otherwise, Twitter, you can find us at Zaleski Sports. And have a great week.
High school playoffs. Go Sports. What do you got going on there, Rach?
Something's not working.
Holy
Okay, let's go.
no. What is
I gotta give
that?
it some volume, otherwise it just flips
Well,
out.
it looks like there's a chipmunk hiding in your head.
Here, I'll make the other one just as big then.
You have two chipmunks. You have a whole family. Well, it is winter. They're looking for a place to burrow down.
Don't make me feel self-conscious about my hair.